What's going on, guys? I'm bringing you another trade sim video today. This is an interesting one that was 1-for-1. The Columbus Blue Jackets trade Cam Atkinson to the Philadelphia Flyers for Jakub Voracek. Cam Atkinson, of course, a longtime Blue Jacket. I believe that's the only team he's played for. I'm going to find him here. 31 years old, so he's getting up there in age now. 83 overall, making just under $6 million. For 5 more years in game, so really 4 more years in real life. You guys can see there, rolls a second line forward, sniper, 6th round pick back in 2008. So definitely turned out very well for a 6th round pick there by the Blue Jackets. Definitely more of an offensive guy, not that big, only 5'8", and I think that's pretty generous, honestly. I look at his point totals there, pretty solid. A couple years ago, actually, 69 points, nice in 80 games, I believe was his career high. And this year, he had a pretty solid season with 34 points in 56 games. Again, I think the reason his value is so low here is just because he's making a lot of money there based on his production. Plus, you know, he's not getting any younger, now 31. In real life, he's pushing 32. So, not a lot of value there for Atkinson. 1-for-1 trade with Voracek. Definitely has a lot more value, but still not that high for an 86 overall guy. Same age there, 31. Was he also a 2008 draft pick? Or, sorry, that's JVR, my bad. Voracek here was 2007 draft pick. Okay, drafted by Columbus, so he's returning to his original team. He, of course, was actually traded for Jeff Carter. They have him listed as a playmaker here, and I think that's fair. This season, I gotta pull it up really quick for you guys. He had 9 goals with 43 points, so did, you know, produce quite a bit. More than Atkinson, about 10 more points there. And he actually played less games too. I'm looking at his career stats here. In game, 695 and 915. He had over a point per game only a few years ago, 17-18, 66 a couple years ago, 56 last year in 69 games. Voracek, I think, is definitely the overall better player. Like, he produces more points, but he's got a bigger contract, making $8 million there, just over for 4 more years, so really 3 more years. So, in doing this trade, it's a weird one. Like, I'm honestly trying to break it down. I don't think the trade values are that far off in real life. I do think Voracek's the better player. Even though he's making more money. He's actually got a shorter term deal there. It's 1 year less than Atkinson. So I'd probably have Atkinson maybe like 3/4 value Voracek. To me though, if you're making a really lateral move in your Columbus, why are you trading a guy like Atkinson who's been on the team so long, really like, you know, heart and soul of that team, unless you want to completely change the culture? And I think that's what's happening. You saw them trade Foligno, their captain, at the deadline. They traded David Savard, a guy who's been on the team for a while. They traded Seth Jones. They traded Dubois, who's a newer guy, but, you know, still a big, you know, voice in that room, I'm sure, as being one of the better players. They lost Bobrovsky, Panarin not too long ago. Like, they lost pretty much, I think, like, in the last 3 years, whatever the team was 3 years ago, pretty much everyone's gone. So I think they're just kind of completely changing this team around. Some of the younger guys, like Bjorkstrand's still there, Rowensky, Foudy, Texier, but for the most part, like, this is a brand new team. So I think that's what this is for Columbus, a culture change. For Philadelphia, I think they like the savings there. Saving about $2.5 million, maybe, you know, just shy of $2.5 million there. And looking at their forward group here, I feel like they definitely have the offensive depth to take a risk and make this trade for Atkinson. And maybe after the other trades they made the last couple days, bringing in Ristolainen and Ryan Ellis, they're really just trying to change that team up. Even if, you know, it's maybe slightly losing the trade, just to kind of, you know, change it up, not have guys you know, feel so comfortable maybe playing harder. I'm sure that's something that's going on in their mind. Maybe they weren't, you know, too happy with how Voracek's played. So basically, it's a change of scenery for 2 guys. I think, I don't know. I mean, obviously in game you can see EA thinks Voracek's the much better player. In real life, I think Atkinson should at least be half the value, if not 3/4. Personally, who do I think wins this trade? I think Voracek's the better player, and I usually go with whatever team gets the better player is the team that wins the trade. So I guess Columbus. He's also, even though making more money, he's got less term, which is good for them. As when his term's up, maybe they're actually competing again with some of those younger guys coming through. But at the same time, like, Atkinson's like a guy who's been on your team for so long. I know, you know, Columbus fans and Asher, I got a buddy who likes Columbus. They're big fans of Atkinson, so it's a strange trade in that respect. Having said that, we'll see, I guess, what they look like with Voracek added to the forward group. And after that trade, guys, here's my best guess what the Columbus forward group might look like. I was actually thinking they probably made this trade for Voracek to bring in a guy who's a natural playmaker like him to hopefully go along really well with Laine, who, of course, is a natural sniper. Now, they do still need to sign Laine, but if they do, I think him and Voracek could be a really good duo. Now, will it be Roslovic playing center in the middle of them? Domi once he's healthy? I don't really know, but Voracek and Laine together could be really nice. I can see when healthy. The rest of the forward group's not too bad. Defensively, I think I already showed after the Seth Jones trade, but I guess I could show you guys Voracek in a CBJ jersey on NHL 21. You kind of already know what he looks like already in that jersey since, of course, he was drafted there, but in-game, I'll give you guys your first look. So Voracek, Not a terrible game face, number 93 there. Of course, that name and number in the CBJ jersey looks pretty familiar. But yeah, there you go, Voracek on Columbus. So now trying this trade from the Flyers' perspective, you can see again, neither team has either player on the block or interested in the other player. Trade difficulties on medium, but it wouldn't matter. This would get accepted every time by Columbus and rejected every time by Philly based on the value. And yeah, Columbus does say yes. So you guys an updated look at the Flyers roster. And after the trade, guys, just an updated look at the Flyers forward group. So I've got Giroux, Couturier, Konechny as the first line. Obviously, they got a ton of options here. Atkinson on the second line with Hayes and Farabee. JVR, Lawton, Frost, Cabell, Andreoff, Lindblom. I showed you guys the defense after this line and trade, but I'm actually using my custom rosters here as I hadn't touched Voracek or Atkinson, so didn't affect it. And you kind of get a better, more realistic look at their defensive group now. Provorov, Ellis top pair. Ristolainen only an 83 with Samheim in the second pair. I've got Cam York on that bottom pair with Braun again. Should complement him quite well. York offensive defenseman. Braun defensive. Next, I'll give you guys your first look at Atkinson on the Philadelphia Flyers. Definitely, I think, going to look a little weird. The dude's been with Columbus for, what, a decade, literally. So, let's see here. Atkinson on the Flyers. Yeah, definitely looks a little strange. Very curious to see how this trade works out for both players. Both Philadelphia and Columbus have been two of the most active teams in terms of trades the last few days. So, very curious to see how both of them play in next season. Let me know in the comment section which team you guys think won the trade. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up, hit the sub button if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.